soup? Welcome to Tales Tomorrow. I'm Morrow, your storyteller for today. With me I have some more RPG horror stories. I'm not sure if you'll look up or follow third-party content for D&D 5e, but I just realized the other day actually that Ryoko's Guide is finally out for people that back it, or like me, who's kind of late about it, just kind of got it whenever it was officially out now. So I might do some videos on it. I'm not fully sure. I know Dungeon Dudes do this thing with it, like take all the subclasses and put them different tiers and stuff. I might do a tier list myself because I think that'd be kind of cool. For now though, let's get some RPG horror stories for today. Dan puts a riddle only his girlfriend can solve. This is not exactly a horror story, but some might call it bad DMing nevertheless. This was ages ago, still playing 3.5. The party was venturing forth well into a dungeon that was crucial for the main quest. During the session, after doing a lot of slash against many foes and overcoming difficult traps, we arrived to a door. It didn't budge. The party succeeds in making an Arcana check. The door was spellbound and we needed to solve a riddle to open it. We couldn't find the riddle as we discovered soon after that the door activates only when the druid, DM's girlfriend, was nearby. We thought it was kind of logic since she was the only spellcaster of the group. As she approached to hear the riddle from the door, the riddle was, "What did I drink on our first date?" What? What? We all raised our eyebrows. She facepalmed and chuckled and said, "Of course, whiskey." The door opened. Again. What? Why are you bringing in IRL into this? Sounds silly. I mean, unless it's the kind of campaign, right, where you just do silly out-of-character stuff, breaking the fourth wall kind of thing, I could see that work. But not if your entire campaign was mostly like a serious campaign, and this is just the random fourth wall break for no reason. And also a test of your girlfriend's memory over what you drank on the first date? Huh? She then told us about the fact that whiskey was the drink DM ordered on the first date, and that it was what he orders when he is with someone he really likes, and that it was his way to tell her that he was into her on their first date. Okay, I mean, cute now, but like, does that matter for the puzzle? Or is it just the DM trying to do some kind of like a little funny haha for the girlfriend just to make him like feel all loved, I guess? I don't know. What was the point of it? Just to remind the girlfriend like, hey, remember what I ordered for the first drink? Yeah, I ordered whiskey. And I only order whiskey when I have somebody I like. That or crippling alcoholism. As the door opened, we realized this wasn't an Easter egg. And no, we weren't playing a Valentine's one-shot for the DM's girlfriend. Behind the door there was a room, and in an artifact that was of vital importance to defeat the BBG later, i.e. what we were looking for in that dungeon. We all kind of chuckled and moved on, even if things was immersion breaking to say the least. And hopefully the DM never did that ever again, because to lock an important MacGuffin behind your girlfriend's memory, or just in general significant other's memory, I think is, I mean, on one hand, the story just went this much and then that's it. You know, it didn't turn into a whole thing of like, now several puzzles became like a whole test of the girlfriend's memory, and only whenever she was around we could actually make some sort of a pass, right? We have seen stories, and maybe, I don't know if you've seen, but I watched a lot of RPG horror stories before this channel was even formed, and I've seen a lot of stories where basically there's a DM and no significant other playing in the game. The DM significant other is playing in their games, and for whatever reason the character has to be there at all times no matter what, otherwise no progress is made, and some puzzles or whatever can only be solved by the significant other because they become a special snowflake marries you bestest ever and whatever not. This story is pretty mild when it could have been really bad. Hopefully this is the only time you guys did it, and DM didn't do this all over again and again and again and make the entire campaign a memory game for your druid or anything. But yeah, pretty mild in general. Still, you shouldn't do that. Like, maybe as a cutesy one-off, you could probably do it as a silly haha, but not if, like, you know, on the other side there's a special MacGuffin to take down the BBG later on or anything. That's kind of just unnecessary. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overreacting. Maybe it's just a very silly story. But I mean, you know, if I had something like this going on, it's the only way we could actually pass through is somebody else's significant other's memory of the events from the past. I kind of feel like I'm third wheeling, you know? I just feel awkward. Very harmless story in general, as long as it doesn't become a huge thing. Let's continue to the next story for today. Abject Silence. I joined a pre-established online D&D group for what was supposed to be a 1-2 shot that ballooned into 5+ sessions. How? Sorry for formatting. Mobile, yeesh. DM. There's a strange mold growing in the cavern. 30 seconds of complete silence. That sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. I usually try my best to be the one of the last people to speak up because I'm pretty shy and talking first stresses me out. Me, playing a bard. Do the ranger or druid want to try to identify the mold? They're from the forest, right? Murmurings of, oh yeah, okay, I guess I could do that. Oh no, a game full of wallflowers and nobody wants to speak up or intrude because they don't want to be creating a problems. They don't want to rock the boat. They don't want to be too rude. When nobody wants to be too rude, then nobody is rude. And then it was just abject silence. That is the worst thing that can happen. I have some players, I'll be honest, I have some players that feel like maybe they want to be the last person to speak because I want to give everybody else a chance to speak, and I had to train it so badly out of them to speak up in character because the character matters, and this is the right time to speak up and maybe accidentally talk over each other like it's Discord. While talking over Discord, and yeah, you're gonna accidentally talk over one another, but it's a thing, it's okay because latency is a thing and it's fine. You're not trying to be rude or impolite and stuff, just speak please, because nothing can be worse than an abject silence of everybody just waiting for each other to speak, and it becomes like a big game of I don't want to go first, somebody else go. Me trying to roleplay during a long rest. Hey, what brought you to this island? Silence. Looking for treasure? Silence. Then eventually, my character goes to sleep. Oh. Are they too scared to talk to you? Or is everybody scared? Is everybody scared to interact with each other? So they just go, I just go to sleep. Or are they like, wait, hold on. What is happening? What is going on here? Either they're too shy around you specifically, or they're all brand new and they're all too shy and none of them are ready to even interact and stuff. What is happening over here? Why is there so much awkwardness in the air for this story? I see a lot of ... So way too many ... that I should be seeing. And I could just imagine the suffocating silence as the basically dead air hangs in the balance of all things and is just suffocating. You ever been in silence that is so suffocatingly terrible to manage? I have. It is awful. That's why I'm always ready to yap and say some stupid stuff to clear the air and relax the air a little bit. Why do you think I talk so much? I talk so much because I want to say something stupid to make people laugh and relax, because otherwise awkward silence makes me feel really weird. You back in town. What do you want to do? Okay, bro, you've been one to initiate everything in the session. I don't care how long it takes. I'm going to wait for someone else to suggest something. Literally 5 minutes of silence with the DM awkwardly making suggestions. Warlock eventually. Let's head right back out and investigate the storm. Yeah, okay, that sounds fine. Me, weekly. Yeah. Do we maybe want to check in with the NPC whose quest we just completed first though? We were supposed to earn gold and a potion that could help us. Sure, yeah, fine, I guess we can do that. The pattern continued. It had accumulated in a large battle on the cliffside. I was, admittedly, getting a little frustrated after 5+ hour sessions where 40% silence and 50% the DM talking and fighting tiki-themed spirits. The DM wouldn't stop making do the racist war cry, you know, the one that when I tried role-playing with that said spirit were confirmed to be 100% evil. So maybe it was seeping into my voice. Okay guys, I can only see half the battle map. The rangers scout ahead. Can we strategize and try to plan our next move? Read, I'm a bard and kind of need to know what to buff. Silence. Eventually, ranger, I'm gonna shoot an arrow at the stone totem. Okay, but I'm sure if arrows are going to do anything, since it's pure stone, maybe we could blast it with magic instead? Silence. The warlock has force magic and thunder magic. That might be good. I only have fire. Silence. You could hear a pin drop. This is my nightmare, having a game where literally nobody says anything at all. This is my actual abject nightmare. This is an abject silence. This is my actual nightmare. Oh, now I'm gonna have an actual nightmare about running a D&D game and nobody says anything at all. Just the most awkwardest silence imaginable. Oh, you know, now that I feel a little bit better, maybe me saying some stupid stuff to get everybody to relax and interact a little bit more is actually a good thing. You know, maybe it's great that Morrow is an idiot because I can unironically say some stupid things just to make people laugh a little bit or react, or at least shake off the silence cobwebs and just not be so decrepit and unmoving and untalking. Ranger, eventually. I'm gonna shoot the stone totem with an arrow. I'll blast the stone totem with acid damage. Okay. After the session, as I was trying to gather my thoughts as to how to ask the DM to please consider not making the tiki enemies sound like that, I was kicked from the group and blocked immediately for talking over people and shutting down their ideas one session before the supposed end. My bad, I guess. Wait, what? Okay, I figured it out. There was only other reasonable solution for this. The rest of the group was talking directly with each other through group chats. They had a group chat where they could type to each other and they didn't use a voice, and instead they talked to the DM. DM was more vocal about it, but the rest of the group was in a group chat together on Discord where only the DM could see the messages, and they were given suggestions on what their characters could do and roleplay in there. But because this player wasn't in the group chat, or maybe didn't check a specific section of the Discord, they probably didn't see the group chat and didn't realize they were talking over others when they were talking normally when there was silence. So that silence is probably because the other players were just typing to each other in that group chat. Because otherwise, nobody said anything and the player got kicked just because. Imagine being kicked because 5 minutes of abject silence and you say, hey, the guys are made of stone, so maybe arrows don't do much, but we could use spells, force, thunder, you know, the things that affect earth elementals pretty easily, you know, maybe potentially, you know, just as an idea, as a suggestion. But if you want to shoot an arrow, go for it, that's fine, that's okay. And you get kicked out from that. The only explanation is they have a private group chat that you're just not part of, or maybe they have a section in Discord where they are typing up and stuff, but you just don't see it or you didn't get to see it. Maybe that's why they kicked you for talking over people. I have no idea, because how is this considered talking over people? I don't understand. 5 minutes of static Discord silence between every minor choice is how they prefer to play their games. To each their own. Boy howdy, I sure do love my hobby when I sit in abject silence for 2 hours waiting for someone to say something. Honestly, I think that they do you a favor. You get to move on to other games that actually have people talking, speaking out loud, instead of sitting in silence for 2 hours, saying nothing. For real though, I think honestly they did you a favor. You need people that you can actually speak with and talk with. I get if somebody wants to be a little more introverted and quiet, understand, you know, maybe you had a long day, you aren't exactly in the mood to speak up, you want to get into the mood while you're playing the game and stuff. Maybe something bad happened to you. Maybe you just had like a really crappy time or something frustrated the heck out of you. I don't know what's going on, but at the end of the day, if you're not going to speak for like 5 minutes straight, then I think at this point you're fully volunteering for other people to speak over you at this point. Unless you speak up, how are we supposed to know you want to speak up, you know? Anyway, let's move on to the next story for today. This is a wild doozy. Worst application I've ever got. Applicant suggests I do a different game entirely. While I certainly have stories of main characters, creeps, and things much weirder, today, I'm not going to talk about any of that for the first story of this space. Instead, I want to call attention to something a little more mild regarding someone who sent me an application that didn't even make it to the interview stage. I'll do my best to provide context while keeping it brief, and I usually try to avoid just talking about these things because I feel it always can risk coming back to you when you put it out there in public. But this is a story that I think has a lot of relevance actually. So here I go. I had something kind of similar. Apparently my 1 year anniversary video got moved up the grapevine to the people that was about the RPG horror story was about, basically. You know, the problem people that we dealt with that basically made us leave the other campaign. And apparently it's blowing up all over again for some stupid reason. And other people that had nothing to do with the story whatsoever or any interaction whatsoever are being involved in it for no stupid, dumb reasons. Man, if you need to rant. This is a space to do that. It's RPG horror stories, and my channel is all about RPG horror stories and D&D and my personal experience. If I want to make a video ranting, I'll do so at my own leisure, whenever I want to, because I got stories to tell, many more too. But this video is not about me. This video is about this specific story here, so let's pivot back to it. Short story. Being a bit of a weeb, how for the past year have been running a game based off of anime game using a fan-made Persona system. What I'm doing is not Persona, I'm just saying like it enough that is the system we're using. I know, but this is how I enjoy things. Basically, it's a world where characters are trapped inside a virtual world and can't go home. Because of a few real-life issues, still present but not here to talk about them, how to put it on pause for a few months. I thought about killing it, but the players were enjoying it enough they asked me to just put it on hiatus until things eased a bit. And this is probably one of my favorite game series that I decided to put it on pause, and now finally coming back to it. I opened it up again to find a player to fill the role of one who left due to their own things to deal with prior to the pause. I left it so I can bring them back later if they wanted to come back. So putting the ad out in a space I won't name here, I got a few interested people. A few I'm still weighing, but one struck out to me. The form was all standard questions you can expect. What you want to accomplish, if you know the show, the game that's inspired by, your favorite shows and all that. I won't recite this all word for word, but here's essentially what I got. I don't know the setting to this game. That's okay, none of my players do. It's a pretty niche, though generic set of games. You don't need to know the lore, and I'm thinking that's fine. But then they have a paragraph that goes something like this. I'm not into the AI stuff, but I was thinking instead of a virtual world, maybe. So then they go into detail describing all the things a fairly standard high school anime setting. If they read the description, they realized the game was in one anyway, and this pitch into a demon hunting thing, which that might be something I would think about doing for some other things. But if you don't know, Persona series actually is kind of a mixture of anime high school, but not really isekai, but like demon hunting in like a virtual, like weird, warped world. If you ever played it, they are great games. They are fantastic games. In fact, I believe Persona 4 is being remade, just like how Persona 3 was remade recently. And oh my god, I want to play it. But if you never played Persona, do yourselves a favor. Unless you don't like JRPGs, but like turn-based combat, then you may not like this one as much. But if you ever want to play a game with style and the greatest music that has ever existed in all anime games ever, Persona 5, hands down, so stylish, just oozing with so much style and just music, and the visuals just, it's great. It's fantastic. Highly recommend. But anyway, it's kind of weird for the player to just kind of suggest a brand new system and a brand new setting and a brand new everything. Like, if you're looking to play Persona game, then play Persona game. If you don't want to play Persona game, there's other games you can apply for and like look at different games, you know? It's kind of weird saying, hey, I know you're playing Pathfinder, but we should really play Call of Cthulhu. Why? Why don't I just look for a Call of Cthulhu game? If you want to play Pathfinder, play Pathfinder. Don't ask people that are playing Pathfinder to just change the system or the setting or whatever entirely. It's like saying, hey, I know your game is an isekai game, but how about we change it into a dark eldritch horror story or something like that? Which, I mean, you probably could, but that's not the setting they're running. It's like taking my map out of nowhere and saying, you know what, this big map that you're playing on, scrap it, make a new map just for me. Why? Let me cut you off there. The game already started, so I'm not changing that. This has been going on for a good while, so I'm not exactly going to just abruptly change the world from being VR to supernatural demon hunting, even if I am enough of a weeb to think that might be cool. If maybe I just wanted to gather players that didn't know what I wanted to do for a game just yet, then maybe we could talk about it. 2. You already told me you don't care about the setting or premise. Then why did you apply if you don't want to play in that kind of game? 3. It's also really annoying to introduce yourself by effectively saying you don't like the game you're not even in and how I'm running it. Don't leave with that. So obviously I didn't contact them. So I doubt a lot of you are opening your application by basically telling the GM to do a completely different game. That's when they plan. But if you are, please don't. I do my best to try entertaining players, but if they don't even enjoy the thing they applied for, there's not much I can do. Like, players have to care about this too. Except in this situation, unfortunately, I think you just got a player that mostly cares about what they want to do. They care about themselves. It's me, 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 me. At the end of the day, they just want to have something for themselves. And for whatever reason, decided to pick you out of all the people to be like, hey, let's make a DM completely change things just for me. They probably saw the whole high school thing going on in like your story and stuff, since your setting has high school and everything. Maybe they'll vaguely Google what Persona is about. So it's anime high school setting or something similar to that. And like, great, I can try to force the DM to mold the experience just for me. Except it's a really rude thing to do. Like I said, if you're going to go to play Pathfinder, you're going to play Pathfinder. But like, you're playing a Pathfinder module that they're running or a game that they're running, you don't go in and say, hey, I know you're playing Pathfinder, we should play Call of Cthulhu because I love Call of Cthulhu. Or change the entire setting, story, and a premise just for yourself. Hey, I know you're playing Pathfinder and you got a whole game going on for like a year or so, and you got players made and the whole world and maps and everything, but you should change everything for me. Make a whole new map, a whole new setting, a whole new set of characters, a whole new world, just to fit my fantasy. If you find a game that fits your style that somebody else is running, if it doesn't fit, move on to a different game. Don't go into a game saying, hey, I don't like this game series or anything. I don't really care for the game series, so you should change everything just for my whims and stuff. How about you just look for a different game that fits your personality more and fits your preferences more, instead of just focusing on trying to force somebody else to change the system, the story, and everything they're running just to fit your your little narrative or preference or whatever you call it. I don't know. Hey, how about you just start your own game? How about you do that? If nothing fits your specific style, why don't you start your own thing? How about you do that? Unfortunately, there's some players, and this has nothing to do with TTRPGs in particular, it's even in my personal friend circles. Whatever somebody else is starting, people want to join, but nobody wants to start their own thing. Let's say, for example, with D&D. Sometimes people really want to play D&D, but they don't want to go through the effort of making their own server, setting up their own stuff, getting the tokens, minis, or whatever, learning the rules and stuff. They want to just find what everybody else is doing, like a Minecraft server, and they want to join that Minecraft server instead of setting up their own Minecraft server, or whatever they're doing. Or if they, let's say, for example, playing a new MMO, Guild Wars 2, Final Fantasy, Elder Scrolls, whatever, they want to join somebody else that already has a guild, but they don't want to make their own guild. If you really want to find something that fits you, the best thing you could do is start your own thing. Not wait for somebody else to start something new. You gotta start your own thing sometimes. If I didn't do it, then I wouldn't have my own D&D server that I'd be playing with my friends. But somebody had to start it. Somebody had to begin. We began. We started our own thing. We didn't join somebody else's server. We just made our own thing. We made our own space. And at times, you just gotta make your own space. That's all it is. But also, if you're joining somebody else's space, don't be a rude jackass and start saying, you should change your space just to fit my preference and what I like and dislike and stuff. Do that right now, because that's just an a-hole thing to do. And with that, that's gonna be all our stories for today. I want to thank you very much for watching, and thanks so much for being here. If you like what I do, consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like. Also, if the RPG Horror Stories ever goes down, or if you want to submit your own personalized horror story, email is down in the description below. I'll see you again in more Tales Tomorrow. Bye-bye.